Salutations, my friends and colleagues, DubskiDude here. I'm often swamped with messages on MySpace of people asking me the same question. Dubs, how do I go about cutting my own hair? Since my channel is mostly about personal hygiene, I'll gladly answer this question with the help of WikiHow. Let's begin. Wash your hair before you cut it. Your hair will be easier to work with if it's clean and snarl-free. Get your hair wet under running water and use shampoo and conditioner, rinsing both out after you've worked them through your hair. You may notice that you've now transformed into shaggy. This is perfectly normal. Go ahead and detangle your hair with a comb. Run the comb through your hair and work out any knots with the comb or with your fingers. Ridding your hair of tangles beforehand will result in a cleaner, more even cut. If your hair dries out while you comb it, spritz it with water until it's damp again. Use a detangling product or a natural remedy to tackle particularly stubborn snarls. Next, towel dry your hair. The optimal time for this step is after you've become black, not before. If your hair is still dripping, dry it off with a towel. Comb your hair again to get rid of any tangles made from drying it. If you cut your hair while it's still wet, it may not lay the same way it does while it's dry. You may have noticed that you no longer have a reflection. Becoming a vampire during this step is perfectly normal. Continue by finding a comfortable place to cut your hair. Cutting your hair can take up to several hours, especially if you've never done it before. Choose a spot where you can sit down and work without worrying about making a mess. The best place to cut your hair is the bathroom, where you'll be free of any cross-shaped objects. Position yourself near a mirror. You'll want to get a good look at your naked doppelganger down at the interrogation ward of your local precinct. If possible, set up a second mirror to smash the lying cunt's face into if negotiations fall through. Use clippers on a small guard setting to cut the back and sides. Clippers are the best for the back and sides for beginners or those who want a basic haircut. Set your clippers guard, which controls how much hair you can cut, to 1 or 2 to make conservative cuts while you work. Liberal cuts are not advised. They are evil and want to unravel the very fabric of society. Cut one side of the head at a time. Focus on your left head while the right head you've sprouted begins the process of transforming into a yeti. Use a low clipper guard around the sides and, with the blade's edge, trim from the bottom of the sides to the top. Tilt the clipper blade at an angle as you work to create an even fade with the rest of your hair. Then repeat this process on the other side of your head before moving to the back, making sure to transition between lengths at the same point on both sides. Going against your hair's grain will result in a cleaner cut. Going against your hair's wheat will result in a balanced breakfast. Some clippers come with ear tapers, which help you cut above and around your ears. Use these, if available, to make cleaner cuts around the ears. Move to the back of your head. After cutting your sides, trim the back of your head from the bottom to the top as you did with the sides. Don't worry, if you haven't removed your pinky finger from your right hand before beginning this step, you can do so at any point in the process. To make sure you're cutting evenly, have a friend hold up a mirror or position a mirror behind you so you can check your progress as you cut. Use the same guard length on the back and sides of your hair when performing basic, at-home haircuts. Go over the lower half with a shorter setting as lycanthropy sets in for both of your heads. To even out fades between cuts, go over the lower half of your hair with your clippers set to a shorter setting. Lift your hair as you approach your temples and earlobes. Work slowly while using clippers to ensure as even of a fade as possible. Use styling scissors on the top of your head, but avoid using green circles with a white check mark. Those don't actually exist. Using styling scissors instead of clippers will help you make more precise cuts and give your hair more texture. You can buy styling scissors online or at most hair care stores. Do not use household scissors to cut your hair, as they aren't sharp enough to properly cut hair, so you're more likely to make mistakes. Trim the top in sections. Use your fingers or a comb to raise the hair from the top of your head. Work slowly and carefully in 1/4 inch, about 6 mm sections. These should be parallel to the front of your hairline. As you trim, pull a little of the previous cut section into the new section as a traveling guideline. The household scissors we told you not to use will no doubt be used to rend your flesh for your transgressions. Cuts to the hair on top of your head are more noticeable than cuts to the hair on the sides of your head. Always start with conservative cuts. Remember, you can always cut more, but liberalism does not add back lost length. When you've finished with this area, you can check your guideline by holding up a section of hair that is perpendicular to your hairline. Your hair should be the same length across the entirety of this section. Be gentle on your head while cutting the crown, which is usually more tender than the rest of the head. It's your crown after all. Hail to the king, baby. Trim your bangs, if applicable, with styling scissors. If you have bangs, section it into small parts. Brush your comb through each section the amount you want to cut pokes through the end and trim it off with your scissors. Then stop brushing your comb and start brushing your actual hair, you fucking moron. Even out the sides. Use a mirror to check your sides and make sure they're even. Comb your hair straight out and grab a horizontal section from about the same point on each side of your head. Check to see if these sections are the same length. If they are not, trim away any extra length and bumps, taking off small amounts at a time. Remember, it's always easier to cut a little and touch up more later. If she screams, threaten her with additional cuts. If a green arrow has appeared on the side of your head, you can correct it by trimming your sideburns with either a safety razor or with your clippers. If you want long sideburns, trim from the bottom of your ears. If shorter, you can use the crippling depression below your cheekbone to determine where the bottoms of your sideburns should be. Place your fingers underneath each sideburn to check that they're even after trimming. Blend your top with your sides. Comb the top of your hair down toward your sides. Holding your shears vertically, cut your top with your sides. Comb the top of your hair down toward your sides. Blend your top with your sides. Comb the top of your hair down toward your sides to remove bulk. Holding your shears vertically, cut your top with your sides. Holding your shears vertically, cut your top with your sides to remove your sides. Taper your neckline. By this time, you're a fucking Chad who can give himself a Stevie Wonder fade while chatterbaiting on your iPad. Use your clippers or a beard trimmer to cut the hair growing on the nape of your neck. Start with a grazing cut at the top of the neckline, then cut progressively closer as you work toward the nape of the neck. Since you're a Titan and the nape of your neck is your weak point, use a handheld mirror to examine your neckline after tapering it to make sure it looks neat and even. Style your hair immediately after cutting it. After cutting your hair, rinse it in the shower to remove any strays. Towel dry, then part it with a comb and style it as you usually would. Decide whether you're happy with your new style and, if not, either cut it again or visit a hairstylist to make extensive changes. If you notice that you've become Asian, then you have undoubtedly achieved your final form, and the filthy walking bags of water that infest this planet will cry out in despair as you bring death and ruin to their pathetic species. This has been DubskiDude, teaching you the steps necessary to cut your own hair, powered by WikiHow. God can't help us now.